Muscle cars are the rock stars of the road, bold, loud, and unapologetically rebellious. Back in the 1960s and 70s, they became the ultimate symbol of freedom and youth rebellion. These beasts weren't just about getting from A to B. They were about making a statement, breaking the rules, and leaving a trail of tire smoke behind. Naturally, the thrill of speed and the growl of raw horsepower made them irresistible to gearheads everywhere. Fast forward to today, we're diving into the 50 fastest muscle cars ever built for the quarter mile, where legends are made one race at a time. Starting off the list, we have the 1970 Trans Am. The 1970 Trans Am was built to thrill, with its 4-speed transmission and 3.91 rear gear working in perfect harmony to unleash pure muscle. Under the hood roared a 400 Ram air engine, delivering an exhilarating 345 horsepower that made every drive feel like a victory lap. This setup launched the Trans Am down the quarter mile in an impressive 13.9 seconds, reaching a top speed of 102 miles per hour. A true legend of the muscle car world, the 1970 Trans Am was as powerful as it was iconic. Next on the list is the 1967 GTO. It was a force to be reckoned with on the track, clocking an impressive 13.9 seconds at 102.8 miles per hour in the quarter mile. At its core was the mighty 400 Ram air engine, producing 360 horsepower and showcasing Pontiac's commitment to performance innovation. Mated to an automatic transmission and a 4.33 rear gear, the GTO delivered explosive acceleration while maintaining smooth, controlled power delivery. Its combination of raw muscle, refined engineering, and unmistakable style solidified the 1967 GTO. The 1969 Mustang Mach-1 was engineered for performance, delivering a thrilling 335 horsepower from its potent 428 Cobra jet engine. Paired with an automatic transmission and a 3.5 rear gear, this powerhouse offered a perfect balance of strength and precision. On the track, the Mach-1 clocked an impressive 13.9 seconds in the quarter mile, reaching a top speed of 103.32 miles per hour, solidifying its reputation as one of the era's most iconic muscle cars. 1969 Barracuda. With 375 horsepower from its 440 monster engine, the 1969 Barracuda packed serious muscle. Coupled with an automatic transmission and a 4.1 rear-end gear, it turned out to be a formidable performer. With this package, the Barracuda was able to click off a 13.89-second run at 103.21 miles per hour. The 1962 Corvette was one car that received high admiration from rebels. Powered by a 327 fuel-injected engine, it produced 360 horsepower. Built with a 4-speed transmission and a 4.1 rear gear, this Corvette is an example of precision and power to form a well-defined performance package in the early 1960s. The 1970 Olds 442 W30 was a thing of beauty that was equipped with an automatic transmission with a robust 3.42 rear gear, which gave it smooth acceleration and power. That combination worked well enough to propel the W30 to 95.84 miles per hour in 13.88 seconds in the quarter mile. At its roots was one of its most important features, a strong-running 455 W30 engine. The 1968 Cyclone GT was no slouch on the road either, reaching 101.69 miles per hour in 13.86 seconds in the quarter mile. Power came to the vehicle courtesy of the 428 Cobra jet, producing a whopping 335 horsepower. With an automatic transmission and 4.11 rear gear, this Cyclone GT was the perfect blend of performance and style that a muscle car should have. 1969 Coronet RT. The 69 Coronet RT had a 4-speed transmission and a 4.1 rear gear combination for smooth and quick power delivery. This drivetrain combination was absolutely perfect, this infamous beast, paired with its 440 cubic inch engine that was dishing out 375 horsepower. The 1966 Satellite came with a 426 Hemi engine that produced a very impressive 425 horsepower. Equipped with a 4-speed transmission and a 3.54 rear gear, this car ran impressively. This combination gave the Satellite a time of 13.81 seconds to reach 104 miles per hour in the quarter mile. The 1971 Mustang Boss 350 carried a 351 cubic inch V8 that was rated for 330 horsepower. This is undoubtedly one of the fastest vehicles that has ever come through the Boss powertrain. Married to a 4-speed transmission and a 3.91 rear gear, this beautiful pairing allowed the car to reach 104 miles per hour in 13.8 seconds in the quarter mile. The 1967 Corvette is next on this list and came with a 4-speed transmission, paired with a 3.55 rear gear for perfect control of its power. At its core sat the big 427 cubic inch beast, dishing out a commanding 435 horsepower. This combination was enough to boost the Corvette to an impressive 108 miles per hour. The 1968 Pontiac Firebird was an icon of the muscle car era, offering 3 engine options to cater to a variety of enthusiasts. However, the most intimidating of these was undoubtedly the 400 high output. This beast packed a serious punch, delivering 335 horsepower, which made it a formidable contender on the streets and the strip. The 1968 Hurst I Olds was a powerhouse of performance, boasting an impressive 390 horsepower under the hood. Its heart was the massive 455 W30 engine, a true torque monster that showcased Oldsmobile's engineering prowess. Few cars could touch 104 miles per hour in 13.73 seconds, and this is what the 1971 Super Bee was doing without even raising an eyebrow. Its power came from the legendary 426 Hemi, putting out a healthy 425 horsepower. With automatic transmission and 4.1 rear gear, it blended performance with attitude and was assured a place in history among America's muscle cars. The 1971 Corvette came with a 4-speed transmission and a 3.36 rear gear that allowed smooth control of its power. It ran the quarter mile in 13.72 seconds at 102.04 miles per hour. Under the hood, it had a 454 LS6 engine, roaring with an impressive 450 horsepower, making it a true icon among muscle cars. The 1971 Cuda was built with a smooth automatic transmission, along with a 4.1 rear gear for exacting power. It ran the track at an impressive 106 miles per hour in 13.72 seconds. At the heart of this monster was a 446-pack engine, capable of producing a commanding 390 horsepower. The 1971 Roadrunner was definitely a showstopper. The bold design mixed just perfectly with perfect aerodynamics. Equipped with a 440 monster of an engine, it ran at 390 horsepower and combined style with just a bit of performance. It ran 101.2 miles per hour in 13.71 seconds. Power was competently regulated through an automatic transmission and a 4.1 rear gear. The 1969 Dart 440 had a 440 beast of an engine under the hood that produced the incredible 375 horsepower output, quickly becoming a terror on both the streets and track. This was able to reach 105 miles per hour in 13.71 seconds, thanks to precision engineering. Power delivery was smooth and efficient, all controlled through its reliable automatic transmission. 1987 Buick GNX. This sleeper car had everyone scratching their heads. No one envisioned the 231 Turbo V6 popping the lights on the muscle car world as it did in the 1987 Buick GNX. Delivering 300 horsepower, it proved that a V6 could compete in the muscle car world. It is also built with an automatic transmission and a 3.42 rear gear that created a record speed of 102 miles per hour in 13.7 seconds. The 1969 GTX made its presence known with its performance on the track. It was equipped with an automatic transmission, and 4.1 rear gears enabled it to reach 102.8 miles per hour in 13.70 seconds. The 1996 Chevrolet Corvette Grand Sport was created to pay homage to the minimalist Corvette competition roadsters of the very early 1960s. That 6-speed transmission, along with a 3.45 rear gear, powered it down the drag strip to 105.1 miles per hour in 13.7 seconds. It is powered by a 350 LT4 engine with 330 horsepower. The 1964 Polara 500 brought speed and style to the muscle car era. Its 4-speed transmission and 3.23 rear gear allowed it to hit 107.37 miles per hour in 13.70 seconds. Its speed success was possible thanks to the 426 Beast that was hidden under the hood that gave it the roar it needed to hit such an amazing quarter-mile run. Another Cobra that left its mark in history is the 1995 Mustang Cobra R. The 5-speed transmission was fitted with a 3.27 rear gear, and power delivery was silky smooth. It launched down the quarter mile in 13.67 seconds at 102.82 miles per hour. At the heart of the Cobra R lay a 351 engine that was designed to provide a solid 300 horsepower, the result of which was a track-ready performer. 1968 Biscayne. The 4-speed transmission of the 1968 Biscayne gave drivers full command over its raw power. Paired with a 4.56 rear gear, it harnessed the strength of the 427 L72 engine, which delivers an impressive 425 reaching 105 miles per hour in 13.65 seconds. This Biscayne proved to be quite a sleeper that would blow away the competition. 1970 Torino Cobra. This Cobra bit differently. The 1970 Torino Cobra had a 429 Super Cobra jet engine with 370 horsepower, hooked to an automatic transmission and a 3.91 rear gear. It ran 105.9 miles per hour in 13.63 seconds, making it one of the fastest yet reasonably priced muscle cars in history. 1970 Challenger RT. The 1970 Challenger RT was engineered for performance to be one of Dodge's track-inspired series. The 446 pack threw out 390 horsepower through the automatic transmission, with the rear gear of 3.23. 1969 Boss 429 Mustang. Because of its rarity, with only 1,359 ever made, many underestimate the speed of the 1969 Boss 429 Mustang. The Boss 429 engine put out 375 horsepower to reach 106 miles per hour in 13.60 seconds. 1969 Super B. One of the qualities that made the 1969 Super B one of the favorites in the market was its 446 pack engine that produced 390 horsepower. Thanks to the power it gave, this muscle car was able to reach 105.6 miles per hour in 13.56 seconds. 1969 Corvette. In 1969, hitting 111.1 miles per hour in 13.56 seconds meant you were behind the wheel of a beast. The 1969 Corvette achieved this with its 427 L88 engine, delivering an incredible 430 horsepower. 1973 Trans Am. The 1973 Trans Am delivered 310 horsepower from its 455 Super Duty engine, making it a standout of its time. Equipped with an automatic transmission and a 3.42 rear gear, it achieved a 104.29 miles per hour run in 13.54 seconds. 1969 Charger 500. With 425 horsepower under the hood, the 1969 Charger 500 was built for dominance. Its legendary 426 Hemi engine, paired with a 4-speed transmission and 4.1 rear gear, made it a true performer. 1996 Camaro Z28 SS. The 6-speed transmission of the 1996 Camaro Z28 SS gave drivers full control over its power. Combined with a 3.42 rear gear, it harnessed the strength of its 350 LT1 engine, which produced 310 horsepower. Reaching 106.48 miles per hour in 13.46 seconds, 1970. Buick GS. Stage 1 was a force to be reckoned with. This success came from its powerful 455 Stage 1 engine, which delivered 360 horsepower. Paired with an automatic transmission and a 3.64 rear gear, this was one vehicle that brought Buick into the limelight. The 1970 Roadrunner is one heck of a muscle car and a true head-turner. With a 426 Hemi sitting under its no-nonsense styling, producing 425 horsepower, add the automatic transmission with a 4.1 rear gear, this iconic beast hit the quarter mile in a blistering 13.34 seconds at 107.5 miles per hour. This car became a true legend and a highly sought-after collector car. 1968 Corvette. Under the hood of this 68 Corvette, a powerhouse lay waiting. At the factory, it had the 427 that produced 435 horsepower, attached to a 4-speed transmission and 3.7 rear gear. Covering the quarter mile in roughly 13.3 seconds at 108 miles per hour, 1990 Pontiac Firehawk. Although mostly praised for its daring look, the 1990 Pontiac Firehawk is definitely worth being on this list. It comes with a 350 small block engine, which unleashes 350 horsepower. The vehicle is paired with a 6-speed transmission and 3.54 rear gear. 1997 SLP Camaro SS. In 1997, the SLP Camaro SS brought muscle and precision together. With a 350 LT4 engine producing 330 horsepower, it was paired with a 6-speed transmission and 3.42 rear gear, giving it unrelenting power. It clocked 13.2 seconds at 108.8 miles per hour. 1997. Corvette under the hood, the 1997 Corvette was a marriage of innovation and power. Powered by the infamous 350 LS1 producing 345 horsepower and coupled with a 6-speed transmission and 3.42 rear gear, this beauty ran the quarter mile in just 13.2 seconds. 1969 Camaro. The Camaros were built for speed, but the 1969 ZL1 was on an entirely different dimension. Fitted with the immensely powerful 427 ZL1 engine rocking 430 horsepower, a 4-speed transmission, and 4.1 rear gear. It was locked and loaded to be able to run a 13.61 quarter mile. The 1970 Chevelle SS 454 was a powerhouse that has received a wide reception from car lovers. Powered by a 454 LS6 engine with 450 horsepower, this vehicle came with a 4-speed transmission and 3.55 rear gear. It ran the drag strip in 13.12 seconds at 107.01 miles per hour, proving its dominance on the track and making it one of the most iconic muscle cars of its time. 1992 Viper RT10. Although this car wasn't from the golden era of muscle cars, the 1992 Viper RT10 raised the bar for all performance vehicles. Pure mind-blowing power is all this car was about because the 488 V10 in this beast produced a jaw-dropping 400 horsepower. 1970. Hemi Cuda history will never forget the 1970 Hemi Cuda. This vehicle is an icon of muscle car history. It roared with the power of a 426 Hemi engine, producing roughly 425 horsepower. This monster came with a 4-speed transmission and 3.54 rear gear. This machine would tear up the drag strip in 13.1 seconds at a speed of 107.12 miles per hour. The 1997 Hearst Firebird effortlessly combined style with impeccable performance. It housed the legendary 350 small block engine that dispersed 350 horsepower. The transmission was an automatic with a 3.42 rear gear. This powerhouse hit the track and blew the competition away with a 12.99-second run at 103.11 miles per hour. Next, we have the 1969 Roadrunner. This vehicle is all about raw power and performance. Tucked inside the engine compartment is a 440 big block engine that produced 390 horsepower, mated to a 4-speed transmission and 4.1 rear gear. It ran the quarter mile in 12.91 seconds at 111.8 miles per hour. The 1966 Corvette 427 was built for speed as much as it was built for fashion. Its engine is an L72 427, which produced roughly 425 horsepower with a 4-speed transmission and a 3.36 rear gear. It flew down the quarter mile at 12.8 seconds with the top speed of 112 miles per hour. 1990 ZR1 Corvette. The 1990 ZR1 Corvette can be summed up in 2 words: technological masterpiece. Featuring a 375 horsepower LT 5350 engine, a 6-speed transmission, and 3.45 rear gearing, it was engineered for both power and precision. With a blistering quarter-mile time of 12.8 seconds at 113.8 miles per hour, the ZR1 stood out as one of the most cutting-edge muscle cars of its time. The iconic 1966 427 Cobra was built to dominate the road and slice through the wind with breathtaking speed. Designed by Carroll Shelby, this lightweight beast was powered by the legendary 427 cubic inch V8 engine, producing a massive 425 horsepower and 480 foot-pounds of torque. Paired with a 4-speed manual transmission and a 3.54 rear gear ratio, the Cobra delivered an astonishing quarter-mile time of 12.20 seconds at 118 miles per hour. With its aluminum body, precise engineering, and ferocious power, the 427 Cobra became a symbol of American performance and remains one of the most celebrated muscle cars in history. The moment we've all been waiting for, the #1 spot. Drumroll, please. Without question, the 1997 Viper GTS earns the title of the fastest muscle car to ever hit the streets. This engineering marvel boasted a ferocious 8-liter V10 engine that unleashed 450 horsepower and 490 foot-pounds of torque. Paired with a 6-speed manual transmission and a 3.07 rear gear, it was purpose-built for dominance. With an astonishing quarter-mile time of 12.05 seconds at 116 miles per hour, the 1997 Viper GTS cemented its legacy as an icon of raw power and unmatched performance. And there you have it, 50 of the fastest muscle cars to ever scorch the quarter mile. These machines have etched their marks in history, not just for their blistering speeds, but for the way they've captured the hearts of car enthusiasts across generations. From roaring V8s to groundbreaking designs, these cars are more than just machines, they're legends. Of course, we know this list might spark some debate. With so many incredible muscle cars out there, some iconic rides may not have made the cut. Got a favorite we missed? Drop it in the comments. We'd love to hear about the quarter-mile warriors you think should have been here.